Player Clan, and welcome to another Warrior D&D vlog, I guess. This one is going to be different from my previous ones. This one's going to be on me and my campaign, which I am a player in, and I have been a player in it for about a year now. But the group that I'm playing in at the moment, we've been playing together for 3 years, maybe 4 years now. There's a lot of exact numbers I'm not 100% sure on, unfortunately. But we've been playing for about 3 to 4 years, give or take. And so this is a group that we're very comfortable with each other. But so very much like my other D&D vlog I did with my other group that I've been playing with for about 2 or 3 years now, where I'm the DM. There's a lot of backstory with this group. Now, this group that I'm playing in as a player, this is our second campaign we're on. And we just had our last session on Wednesday the Wednesday before this video hopefully goes up. And I'm going to have to give a brief backstory of what's happening with this group at the moment. I'll try and go into a little bit as quick as possible, and maybe in a later date I'll do a breakdown of what happened in the sessions from what I remember. But to give the long story short for this, I am playing a tiefling bard cleric called Cliff. I'm very original with my names. We have a cleric of the protection domain named Amma, a ranger druid named Tuvana, who we call Tu, a paladin, devotion I believe, named Sheila, and a rogue thief named Alistair. And this is players that I've been playing with for at least 3 years now, so we're fairly comfortable with what we play as. But yeah, to give a long story short with this group at the moment, our main quest at the moment is that we are trying to gather resources and gather information to kill a demon that has been harassing our group pretty much since the start of the campaign. It's a Nephers demon, but our DM, this is his own custom setting, so a lot of things are different than most other D&D settings, so we don't know the full extent of this Nephers demon's powers, other than it can control and summon undead, and the longer it has to create it, the more powerful they are. So basically, if our party stays in one area too long, he has the potential of summoning more powerful undead to come after us. But he's being smart about it, and he's been attacking other people in the towns that we are, resulting in a dwarven city that we went to, where we are no longer welcome because they believe we brought the undead that attacked the village while we were off trying to help them out. That resulted in us maybe or maybe not escaping jail. So it's safe to say we hate this guy because he's kind of fucked with our lives quite a bit. He has actually also successfully killed our entire party once. We have had one TPK. But the DM, whether it be a planned thing that he had, or maybe he felt like, oh shit, I didn't mean to kill them all this early, because I've had that. Either one doesn't matter in all honesty, because we all have DMs like Vod. The Vod done that as a DM. We were brought back to life by if I'm remembering correctly, and I am so sorry, Andreas, if I'm forgetting this, that we were brought back by a white crow, another deity that may be the sister of the Nephers that's hunting us. When my memory is horrible, I do apologise. And that's actually the patron that my bard Clef became a cleric of, level 1 at the moment. So we have been brought back to death, and we are currently in possession of a spell which Clef can cast of Summon Greater Demon, so we can summon this guy to our plane of existence and try and kill him. We're just trying to figure out how we're doing that. However, we are in the process, as of last session, doing a side quest, which is trying to track down and get these ancient artifacts known as the Tears of Tessa. And our DM setting, Tessa is basically the deity of rejuvenation, rebirth, and kind of that subject matter. I'm horrible with this stuff. I'm so sorry, Andres, if I'm forgetting some important details there. But we're trying to track down these tears, and the reason we want these tears is because my bard Clef and the cleric Amma got affected by a ghostly whale, and we failed the DC by 5, so our characters aged, I think it was 20 or 30 years off the top of my head. they're not so worried about that because but Clef's now 45 from 25, and Arma is a half elf, so 20-30 years is not a huge thing for her. But it did actually, the Nefers sent one of these things after an innkeeper that our group had become quite friendly with, and it aged her quite significantly. So the main goal is to get the tiers for her, sub goal is to get the tiers for us. Although I've already said this to the party, Clef is not Clef has basically been saying that he's kind of accepted his punishment of being aged because he kind of takes it on himself that it's his fault because he just seems to bring bad luck to the group. He's kind of seen it on himself as it's his fault, especially with some of the bad stuff that he's said to the Nefer's demon because he just loves antagonizing it because he's a bard and he loves doing that. But yeah, we are currently in the process of that. Now, in the process of doing this, we also met an orc tribe, which Arma has a bit of a history with orcs, being a soldier and fought in a war against orcs, so she kind of hates orcs, which is understandable. And these orcs have given us another side quest, but we'll focus on one side quest for this video. And we have found the old temple to Tassa, fought some lizard-esque monstrosities. It was fun. I got 2 shot, as not killed, but I got knocked unconscious in 2 hits because Cliff's a very squishy boy with a -1 constitution. Yes, I give him -1 con. That is a bad idea to do. But yeah, that happened. And we did eventually find our way in this temple, finding some history about it, and also found a snake statue with a basically a small pond that was deep. And our Arma saw her deity Helm inside it and dove into it, which resulted in the rest of us diving in and following it. And it's now became apparent to us that we have travelled in time because we have went back to a point in our DM setting where humans are enslaved, lizard folk and Yuktai, but his variation on Yuktai called Shesh, I believe is how you pronounce it, Szech, are the ruling ones, and humans are enslaved. So we have found a human slave, freed her. She has an amulet of tongues that allows us to understand her because it's an ancient language she's speaking. And we are currently the main thing we've been doing at the moment in this temple, where we think the Tears of Tassa are, is that we are trying to kill these 3 things called godlikes, which are the Shesh. So yeah, we did manage to get one of them separated from all of them. One was called the Heart Devourer, I believe. Heart Eater. It's one of the 2. It's basically someone who eats hearts. The Flesh Weaver and the Dreadful One. These are very lovely names for very powerful things. We did manage to free a barbarian who had been charmed by one of them through our paladin's innate ability to nullify charm. So we had an extra barbarian on our side at this point, so we were able to get one of them when we went to the top of the tower. It's kind of very Aztec inspired from my perspective, like human sacrifices, blood, cutting on the altar, take out the heart, that kind of thing. And we were able to get one of them up there, and thankfully Arma had cast protection on poison on Clef because he got hit and he took 30 points of poison damage, made the save, barely I believe, and only took 5 points of poison damage, which was nice since he only has 35 hit points. But yeah, we went through quite a lot of spell slots, however. Thankfully our DM made up these potions called Astra Potions, which I'm probably going to use in my setting because they are a really cool idea of that allow you to restore spell slots, but we gave them all to our cleric because my bard, I'm like, look, I've got support spells, I can counter spell that I'm not the healer of the group, give it to the cleric because she needs her spells, give them to Arma. So after some investigation, we eventually went down to the area where we were going to encounter the 2 other dreadful ones. The 2 other the Dreadful One and the Flesh Weaver, along with their 2 lizard barbarians. Lizard bodyguards. He did give them a name, but the name escapes me. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we did that. We strategized a little bit, and we bust into the room. 2, the Druid Ranger, got off an entangle spell on both of them, but it only held down the Flesh Weaver. The Dreadful One succeeded the save, sadly. And Arma, due to her protection domain aspect, has the ability to cast the slow spell, and got the Flesh Weaver, but not the Dreadful One. The Dreadful One was really good at making saves. The two lizard folks, Sheila and the Barbarian, and also Alistair, the Ranger, and us, we focused on trying to get them out of the way as best we can, but we also were trying to get rid of the two major threats. Like, as much as the big beefy bodyguards are, the main threats were the Shesh, the Dreadful One, and the Flesh Weaver. Thankfully, we all stayed in the area for Sheila, who at this point with the Devotion Paladin, I believe she is, she makes it impossible for any charmed effects to affect any of us as long as we stay within a radius of her. So the Dreadful One, who has charm abilities, tried to use a level 6 charm spell on us that if you fail the save, you're charmed by it and there's no future saves. So she tried it on Sheila, she tried it on Arma and one or two of others before she realised this isn't working, why isn't my spells working? So she eventually went back and prayed to the altar where she was at and summoned tentacles that had random effects to either hit you, grab you, or pull you through space and time and put you in a random location 100 feet away. Yeah, Clef didn't get lucky with that, sadly. He actually got pulled away fairly early on. And we did eventually take down one of the bodyguards, but the Dreadful One attempted to use another 6th level charm spell on Clef. And I had no choice but to, because I didn't want to risk losing it because I don't have any Dispel Magics left. I had to use my last counter spell to counter it, and I rolled like a 25 and a 26, so I thankfully countered it. But yeah, that didn't make the Dreadful One too happy. But here's where the major range got through into our party, because we were doing really well. Like, we were doing really good well. The Dreadful One hadn't been hit too much, but the Flesh Weaver was getting pretty fucked up. However, the Dreadful One decided to cast a spell, which I believe was called Mold Flesh, or something along those lines. I'm pretty sure and these were custom spells. I don't remember off the top of my head. Which, if you failed the DC 17 Constitution saving throw, an effect happened to you. She got that on Amma, our cleric, and removed her tongue. And this effect is permanent until dispelled. So our cleric has no tongue at the moment and can't really cast any spells. So she took all the potions and we are kind of fucked because our main healer is basically a tank at this point, which, don't get me wrong, Amma is a protection domain cleric, is clad in armor with a sword and shield. She can fuck shit up. But she has no spells now, basically, which kind of fucked us over a little bit. Also, at least 2 or 3 of our party members at this point had been grabbed by tentacles and restrained. Pretty much, and it was pretty bad. The Dreadful One also cast that spell on Clef. I failed the con save, obviously. Thankfully, she only made me blind, so I no longer have eyeballs as Clef. If she took away my tongue, that is basically us fucked for spells, because Dispel Magic has a verbal component, and if I have no tongue, I can't cast it, and Clef does have Dispel Magic, so does Amma, but Amma can't cast it at the moment. Thankfully, due to some really lucky rolls, because I'll be honest, our DM, Andreas, was rolling really fucking well. I'm talking, like, I think most of his rolls were above a 17 or 18. I think he rolled a couple of shit rolls, like a 4 or 5, but Jesus, he rolled ridiculously well on damage and also rolls, while we rolled really fucking shitty. We did eventually, through pure luck and sheer joy, thankfully, were able to take out the Flesh Weaver, the barbarian NPC that we did actually take him out, thankfully. And we did, thankfully, I can't remember who got the killing blow, but I think it might have been our rogue who had been dying in and out of the room to stay sneak attack, did get the killing blow in it, I believe, but not before our ranger was down at this point too, was either down or very much close to being down. Thankfully an NPC stabilized her after the Dreadful One went down because the tentacles went away after that. Amma was down. Clef had 18 hit points left, I believe, and Sheila got knocked down at least once or twice. I think Clef had to feed her a health potion more than once, while we only had one freaking lizard, which I believe they were called Marrow. Don't quote me on that. I could check my notes, but I don't want to turn my on because Claire bothers me. But yeah, we had one singular bodyguard left, and yeah, we were pretty close to being pretty much a TPK in all honesty, due to the fact that we got fucked by this thing. Like, no matter what, Sheila couldn't hit him. Like, I don't know what their AC was, but it was somewhere at least 19 or 20, I think. But yeah, Sheila did her best. She just couldn't hit it. Clef, the squishy one, even took a hit for her to try and help it. It was thankfully, luckily to our... I think he got a crit, which was Alistair. I think he either got a crit or he got a really good roll damage on his sneak attack, who managed to take down the final bodyguard. Thankfully, we managed to get everyone stabilized and back up to at least a couple of decent hit points. However, we've killed the Dreadful One, we've killed the Flesh Weaver, killed the Heart Eater. I now remember Sheila got the killing blow on the Dreadful One because she had cut out the Heart Eater's heart and used Divine Smite and smacked it into the Dreadful One's face and then cleaved it in half. That was probably the most badass moment I've ever seen. I think she actually got a crit on that with the heart in the face. That was probably one of the best moments in that entire fight. But yeah, we survived barely. I think in all honesty, if it had went one more round, we would have had a TPK. Just from the sheer fact that this freaking barbarian lizard folk kind of like thing, frenzying, was dealing a shit ton of damage. But yeah, we managed to survive. Barely. Like, I think our ranger's out of spells. Claire can't really use any spells at this moment. And my bard, Claire, is completely tapped on spells at this point. I think I only have some cantrips left that I can use to deal damage or have any significant effect. But yeah, we ended the session there pretty much close to death. Like, I think, thankfully, Armor had stabilized. I think she had 2 fails, 2 successes, and she stabilized, thankfully. 2, thankfully, got stabilized by an NPC. But yeah, we got lucky, and that seems to be a recurring theme for this group. We seem to be very, very lucky. Like, we've had more than one encounter where we have almost had a TPK, but one lucky roll has saved our ass. And I'm not even kidding about that. That's at least 2, maybe 3 encounters we've had like that. But it's mostly these big, epic encounters, which is always good in my opinion. Like, you love those epic moments where shit just goes down and you're almost killed like that. Oh, I love moments like that. My heart was pounding and I was like, I really like playing Clef, but I understand he's probably should not be alive at this point because he's had so many chances where he's probably should have been dead. But that was one heck of a session. It's moments like that is why I play D&D, and I love playing with this group that I'm playing with at the moment, and they make me smile. It's just because it's also a good testament of like how a good DM Andreas is. He's so good, in my opinion. He has so much information on his world. I think this is a world he's been building for at least a few years now. I only hope that my setting is as it could be half as interesting as his at the moment. But I definitely am looking forward to see what happens, because at this point we have to take a long rest, because if we don't, we can't get rid of these. Clef is now blind, Armor has no tongue. 2 of our spellcasters are kind of at a major disadvantage at the moment. So thankfully, we hopefully should be able to get a long rest. Now, we need to take a long rest because Armor can't cast the spell magic. I have to cast it, so I have to use 1 spell slot, or at least 2 spell slots to get rid of these things on us. And we still have no idea if we've even found the Tears of the Tsar, because there's still another level of this Aztec-esque tempo that we're trying to get down to. So yeah, that's the current state that we're in at the moment, and it is, oh dear Lord, it is intense. And I love it. I love playing with these people. They have always been good players and good DMs. But yeah, that was where we left off last session, and we have to wait 3 weeks, sadly, due to scheduling, before we find out what happens next. The joys of D&D, where you're like, I want to play as soon as possible, but people's schedule is making it very hard. But yeah, I love it. I am really grateful that we can play it. I'm happy Clef survived. I do have a backup character ready just in case, but I'm very glad Clef survived, because I really want to see where Clef's story goes, because he's probably the most interesting character I've played in a wee while. I've only had 2 or 3 NPCs that I've played, and I love my Dwarf Monk. She was fantastic, but she didn't really have that much character development. Clef has had a massive amount of character development in this campaign. Kim had a bit, but she not to the level in which Clef has had, in my opinion. So I'm excited to see where he goes with that, and I'm excited to see if we survive this temple, and if we can get back to our own time, or if we're going to be stuck back in time and have to survive in a place where humans are enslaved. That's what I'm interested to see. Other than that, I think that's where I'll wrap this up here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the little storytelling moment there. Please let me know your D&D stories down below in the comment section below, DM or player otherwise. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will keep you informed in the next session. See you all later now. Ciao for now.